I got scammed for $1 million, and here's my story. You may have seen the video on my main channel where I talk about how we should have been covered up to $1 million for this lawsuit against Logan Paul because we have what's called media insurance or errors and omissions insurance. The reason I got this, the reason most media companies get this is because of defamation lawsuits, especially if you're going to do original reporting on very rich people and accuse them of things like scamming.
So, for those that don't know, rich people can slap you, quite literally, with slap lawsuits and basically drain your balls and your wallet of money so that they ruin your life. Yeah. That's what rich people do to people who are poorer than them, and they basically just ruin your life. This guy's obviously not Logan Paul. He does not have, like, you know, millions and millions of dollars. So if he fights back and he loses, even if you win, a lawsuit can ruin your life because you're, even if you win and you come out cleared and everything is all good on your side, you still have to pay people. Yeah, it's horrible.
You know, people don't take too kindly to that. And many times they will threaten to frivolously sue you. Sometimes they even will sue you, and you have to be prepared to defend yourself. It's very expensive, and so you want some way to do that. So you can get insured for that. You can get insured for defamation. And we've actually used the same type of defamation insurance or errors and omissions insurance to cover ourselves before and successfully done that. This time we thought it would be no different.
That's really smart. That's really, really smart.
So when we got sued, I saw a lot of great support from people saying, look, I want to help. I want to help you, kind of like, you know, you should do a GoFundMe or whatever. And I said to myself, well, look, I don't want to do that because I don't need it. And many commenters knew that I had insurance and they said, hey, he doesn't need it. Don't worry. He's got this errors and omissions insurance. I was like, yeah, you're right. You know, that's true. Except then I called my insurance company to put in a claim. I'm like, yo, knock, knock. We've been paying you thousands of dollars a year. Why not time for you to pay up? And they promptly called back. They're like, actually, no, we're not going to do that because in the fine print of our policy, your new policy, we've excluded ourselves from defamation claims.
That's illegal. Unless he has proof of them notifying him of that, they can't do that. Which is really fucked up if you change something that big, because a lot of people get those kinds of insurance just so they can protect themselves like that. Yeah. Insurance, the world's biggest mafia? Absolutely. Insurance is like the biggest scam. Such a scam. He'll likely sign the updated policy and expect it to be the same. Yes, that is very likely what's going to happen, and if that's true, then he can't do anything. Even if it's deceitful. He probably will just start, like, looking at another insurance policy or another insurance company, but I don't know if that'll help. Yeah.
So I was confused. I was like, wait, but the whole reason I got this was defamation. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, well, what does this cover if not defamation? They're like, well, errors and omissions. And I'm thinking, what do you call errors and omissions in media? You call it defamation. I mean, if CNN goes on and they make an error about some random person, that person's not going to sue them for the error. They're going to sue them for defamation.
For defamation, yeah.
So I was confused. I was like wildly confused. I go to my policy. I'm like shocked to find, yeah, okay, sure enough. Yep, you guys are excluded from defamation. And I'm like, how did this happen? So that requires the full story. So that's the TLDR. Scammed for $1 million. If they had paid out the whole claim, right? Like, that's obviously a big part of this.
Yeah, clickbaity title. But I get it. Chat, this is a big deal because he's getting sued by Logan. He's gonna throw so much money at this guy and bleed him dry like a vampire.
Ultimately, we paid, like, I think during the lifetime of this insurance, we probably paid like a few tens of thousands of dollars to this insurance. So
holy crap.
It hasn't been cheap to pay for insurance that ultimately did nothing. So we, at minimum, got scammed for that amount. If you actually look at the total policy we had, it was up to $1 million. So I don't think it's a stretch to say we got scammed for $1 million.
Yeah.
But the full story, I think, is even more interesting. So initially, we had gotten a message from another YouTuber who had just been in a lawsuit. This is how we started getting into this whole thing. And they told us, look, dude, I just paid $250,000. We were small at this time. He goes, I just got paid $250,000 to fight this lawsuit. I'm in the right. It's totally frivolous. This guy knows it. You need to make sure you get this thing called errors and omissions insurance so you can be protected like I wasn't. So we were
$250,000. Yeah, I'm gonna throw up.
Small channel, and relatively the insurance was going to be very expensive for us. But I appreciated that, and I thought, that's really wise. If this channel continues in a certain direction, in the type of content that I want to produce, we need to have this. So we found a broker who kind of advertised himself as like, look, every YouTuber needs defamation insurance. If they're going to be publicly talking about news, about like different topics. So you get a hold of this guy, and we say, hey, we want that.
Chad, do I need friggin' anti-defamation insurance? Oh, Jesus, I don't have that! Oh, God!
So he goes, great. So he shops us around some insurance, and we pretty immediately find some carriers who are willing to take us because at the time our channel is much smaller, and I would just say it's like less risky, so to speak, because the smaller you are, the less people are going to see it. It's just not as big of a risk. So we get covered. And
nobody takes you seriously, brother. It doesn't matter if someone doesn't take me seriously. If I get sued by some dipshit who wants to go after me maliciously and they have more money than me, I'm fucked. They can ruin my life. Like, come on. Like, I know, haha, it's a scam, but like, it's kind of scary to think about, like, haha, it's a scam, this is bad. But if it happens, then you're shit out of luck, and then they ruin your life, and then you blow your brains out. Talk with a lawyer? Yeah, of course.
2019 or 2020, we get a cease and desist letter from Dan Locke, okay? I'm just trying to remember the year. I'm not so clear about the years, but I just remember we got a cease and desist from Dan Locke. It was one of our first, and the guy showed up at our house, really freaked us out. He's like, hey, are you blah, blah, blah? I'm like, yes. He's like, oh, not you've been served, but like, here, this is, aha, we got you. So I'm reading the cease and desist letter. It's very like angry. Lawyers use that language like, you have to respond, like da-da-da. We're going to take very, heavy legal action against you. So we're freaked out. So
you have to respond in 48 hours or I'm going to fucking bash your balls in.
Called my insurance and I was like, hey, we're getting a cease and desist for defamation. Can you help? They're like, yep. We cover that. That's the whole point of the stuff. That's why you got it. So we're going to get you a lawyer. So we got a lawyer. We fought the cease and desist. It ultimately turned into nothing. In fact, most cease and desist letters turn into nothing. But we were relieved. We were like, okay, great. This stuff works. I'm very glad we have it. So we go the next year and it gets more expensive, significantly more expensive, this type of insurance, because as you use it, they're like, well, you're a risk now. Now that you've used the thing you paid for, we have to charge you a lot more for it.
It's like car insurance. So getting into like trouble is like an accident. So it makes clever little corpa borpa. I like that.
Maybe like getting into an accident with like car insurance. But what I find a little unfair about this is we did nothing wrong. like we didn't do anything. In fact, our claims, I think, were fair, and I don't think they were defamatory at all. But either way, the price goes up. We're happy to pay it. We're like, sure, we don't care. As the years go,
I wonder if Aswin and like other YouTubers have that kind of insurance, man. That's terrifying.
Our channel starts getting bigger, and the channel, from an insurer's point of view, gets more risky, right? They're like, you're bigger, you get more views, therefore, more eyeballs see it. You need to pay more money. Always happy to do that. Fine, whatever.
Okay.
At one point, the insurance company we had been using says, okay, you know what? We actually don't want to do this anymore. For whatever reason, you're not being renewed this year. So we go to our insurance broker and we're like, okay, what do we do? He's like, well, I can shop you around a bunch more policies. What do you want? And we're like, well, we just want similar coverage. He goes, great. So he goes around. They work with a bunch of people. And they're like looking for a while. We can start getting nervous. We start getting close to the deadline of when we have to renew. And because it's kind of a big deal. You don't want to lapse your coverage because then you say something, it's not covered, whatever. So finally, we're getting down to the wire. He's like, look, I do have this one insurance company we can go to. I don't know. They're kind of like, we can go to them. So we're like, yeah, dude, well, anything. Finally, he comes back. He goes, great news. They're going to do it. And we're like, oh, awesome. Is it more expensive? He's like, yeah, it's like 40% more expensive. We're like, we don't care. That's fine. We'll pay it. So he goes, great. Sign this, whatever. And we're good. So we sign it. And we're like, great. Little did I know, these guys had put a special exclusion, 2 exclusions actually that are relevant. The biggest one in this policy was on page 31, and it said, we are excluded from covering. It's all these things.
No, LOL, it's an insurance scam targeting YouTubers that don't know any better. Okay, counter argument. There's plenty of VTubers who do this kind of stuff where they talk about drama and companies. What if you're false ID and you cover this kind of drama and you make money off of the YouTube videos? If you get slapped by Niji Sanji who makes more money than you, what are you supposed to do? Let's forget that they're international because international law is all fucky-wucky. What if they're a US company? What if it's a US VTuber agency or something? And then they slap you with it and then they shut you up. That's why you hire a proper lawyer. Oh my god. But the insurance is supposed to cover you if it's $1 million. If they slap you with $1 million. You don't have $1 million. It's fine. Some people don't get it. It's okay.
They won't cover.
Yeah, just get a lawyer.
They're
yeah,
we
right.
won't cover defamation.
You're right.
Now that's the only reason we're buying the insurance.
Yeah.
But we don't see it. Now, there's a lot of whose fault is this? Is this the fault of the underwriter for not flagging it? Is it the fault of our broker for not telling us because he's the
It's all their fault, including the insurance that tried to get them out of it as well.
expert?
Yeah.
Is it our fault for not reading the whole all 50-something pages of the contract? We're not insurance experts, but should we have read it? Should we have hired a lawyer, right? I'm not going to get into all of that in this video. The point is, there is this there's this exception in the fine print that we never hear about. And there's also an exception from what they call digital assets. It's they're excluded from covering it if it's about digital assets. Now, if you've seen my content, all the videos are
cryptocurrency.
Well,
What?
A lot of videos are about some type of digital asset. So it's they wrote a policy, charged us 40% more, and then every single part of the policy is just drawing a box where it's we won't cover anything that this channel talks about.
He should have hired a lawyer, paid more money to read it. Because obviously, the thing about lawyers writing contracts and legal claims and all this policy mumbo jumbo, you as a normal person cannot read it. It sucks.
So anyway, I mean, I guess that's good business for them if they can get people to sign it. And it was sent to us by our broker. They're like, yeah, this is the only guy that'll cover you. Here's the only thing you can get. And we're like, okay, great. So we pay for this for 2 or 3 years. I forgot the exact.
Oh my God,
I have to pull up the exact emails of when we first signed with these guys. But we pay tens of thousands of dollars for this insurance that does not cover us. So now the whole Logan Paul stuff happens. We call our broker. They say, no. Or, call our broker. They file with the insurance company. The insurance company says, no, we're not going to do that. The broker starts freaking out. It's the first time they've heard of this. They had no idea. This is all in writing too. It's actually crazy what they put in writing. They're like, yeah, we had no idea that this was part of.
So the broker fricked up. Yeah, that's really bad.
Of the thing we didn't know. So yeah, that's the full story of what happened. I mean, it's kind of tough because by the letter of the policy, it's kind of did the insurer do anything? I mean, they just offered us a deal and we took it. So it's more okay, well, the broker anyway, we're talking to like people because we're like, dude, how
This is
can
all
we pay
hypotheticals,
tens of
man.
thousands of dollars for insurance that doesn't insure the thing we paid a broker to find us? It's like paying a broker to find you car insurance, and then they like sell you like car insurance that excludes any type of accident that includes something with four wheels. Like that's literally what this is like.
Yeah.
But now we're in this crazy position where we're having to like talk to lawyers about if we need to like lawyer up versus the insurance company that's supposed to be paying for our lawyers in the other case. Like, it's so stupid.
Oh my God.
We're now having to be like, wait, no, I think you scammed us. Also to the broker, like, we're in this ridiculous situation where we should have had insurance to protect us if our insurance didn't pay up, because now we got to talk to all these other lawyers too. Yeah.
This is such a mess on top of the Logan Paul thing. It's so bad.
It's so frustrating. Yeah. And by the way, not only are we now having to look at all our options for what to do about all this, I have to read you this, dude. The broker not only admitted he didn't know what was in the policy, he put in writing that the underwriter didn't know what was in the policy. So he says, the quote and email from blank never mentioned that this exclusion was being removed. It's not common for agencies or underwriters to read through every line and exclusion of every policy we receive. So while we could have checked the policy to see that defamation was excluded, some fault lies with the carrier for not disclosing this to us when it was quoted. What?
Oh.
So they're just pointing fingers at each other.
I fucking hate lawyers and
but
brokers.
The person actually affected is us. So
yeah, so you're fucked. Yes.
And then they also say they not only didn't know what was in my policy, they have apparently may have sold this policy to other people. In another email, they say, it looks like it's going to have to go up the ladder at the insurance company to find out why this wasn't disclosed to us earlier, that this exclusion was in there. I've been told.
Car salesmen, insurance salesmen, and lawyers. Fucking wucky ducky, man.
Told by the underwriter that this has his full attention. I think he might be really concerned because they have a few other accounts with this insurance company. And if this exclusion is on all of them, then it's going to represent a larger problem for their business. So this may have been sent to tons of people who think that defamation is excluded for them as well. And it like actually isn't. I just think this is so crazy to me that we're in this situation, but you know, we are. And ultimately, now we're selling shirts. I mean, that's how we got here. That's how we got to selling this very cool, very nice shirt that you should definitely buy. Because I haven't even calculated how many shirts I need to sell to make up for this, but it's a lot. Okay, so if you could help out, that would be very appreciated. Pre-order is for 14 days, I believe. We got this shirt. We got a lot more. You can go check it out on the website.
I feel bad for him, dude.
But
I do feel bad for him because I was in a situation where I thought I was legally in the right, but it turns out morally I'm in the right, but legally I am not. So I had to hire a lawyer to tell me that. And it's all very fucky wucky because to him, the broker fucked him over by making a mistake, but ultimately they can't do anything about it. So he's out of money and now he has to deal with all the other shit.
By the way, that is the story of how I got scammed. Yes. Me, CoffeeZilla, got scammed for $1 million. We got Dylan Dennis. We got fine printed, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, fine printed.
Tough, man. Tough. Let me know if you have a similar story in the comments below, because a lot of people I've talked to actually are like, yeah, I've had the same experience with insurance. Not media insurance, but they're like, yeah, I had paid for insurance that ultimately, I guess that's their job, is to not pay. Like they don't make money from paying out $1 million.
Yeah, they rewrite policies constantly to fuck people over. And then they legalize it. It's horrible.
On a policy that they maybe got paid
claims
like
is part of their policy.
So they make money from not paying out claims. So I'm interested if you guys have stories below of times where you had something similar happen in your life.
Insurance is a scam.
I want to know about it. Either way, thanks for watching. You can appreciate a little pain at my expense. I'm laughing because I've had a little bit of time to process this. It's almost been a full month now, so sitting with this. Oh, actually a little over a month. So I can appreciate the irony of the situation. But Woo! When it first happened, let me tell you, I was not happy. I was sending some very angry emails. I was like, and yeah, that's basically it. Don't forget, go get yourself a shirt.
Oh, it's a
thank
little
you,
cat.
Coffeezilla. I'm suing. I really got to sell shirts now.
He's smiling, but he's pissed. As someone had to deal with the law, it sucks. Yeah. What a pain. What a pain. What can you do, though? It's not like he's saying, like, oh, well, these guys are so in the wrong. He's like, yeah, I got scammed. Yeah, he's like... Tricked out with Coffeezilla shirt and plushie right now, for real? What if we put the Coffeezilla shirt on the plushie? Yeah, don't do what I did. Don't buy insurance and then go through a broker that can't read, and then unfortunately, you get fucked. Law so confusing, it doesn't make sense for normal people. And they do it on purpose! They do it on purpose! Yeah, don't buy insurance. Yeah. Some people have to, though. Like, some people are really sick. Like, for example, like, health insurance. They have to. Sucks. Yeah. You can't misrepresent the contents of a contract. No, you can't, but you can make it a mistake. It's a human error. Oh, yeah.